Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Pedro here. Just for the sake of authenticity, the video you're about to watch was actually recorded just under a year ago now. However, the content is still fire, still really good, so stay tuned, keep watching to the end because the tips and tricks in there are really helpful. I hope you enjoy. I do plan on doing an updated version of this video in the near future because I have learnt so much now going through A-levels. Or having gone through A-levels anyway. But anyway, enjoy the video. It's good stuff. Otherwise I wouldn't be posting it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. And today we're going to be talking about 6 things that I did when it came to revising for my GCSE exams. Things that allowed me to get full 9s apart from an 8 in English language. But that was because of a mistake I made, and I'm going to let you know of that mistake as well so that you don't make it yourself. So let's get right into it. So guys, the first thing I want to mention to you before we begin is that these things don't always work for everyone. Everyone is different. So you might have to take it and adapt it to your style. But I believe that if it worked for me, it worked for someone. So that's the whole point behind this video. The other thing I want to say is I'm still learning. So things might change. These tips may change come a couple of years' time. But what I can tell you is that they've proven to be successful, at least when revising for GCSE exams. So the first point I want to make, number 1, is you need to know how you learn. By that I mean things that are very different from everyone else. So do you prefer to work in a group, on your own, with music, without music? That's what you need to know. Do you learn by taking notes or other things that I can't tell you because you need to find out for yourself. But the points that follow are things that I did and things that I can tell you. So point number 2, consistency. Consistency is key to whatever you want to achieve, because what consistency does is it allows you to do small tasks, very small tasks, but work up to a very, very big goal. The importance of this is that you don't tire yourself out by doing these small tasks, because if you try and do it all at once, like cram your revision in the night before the exam, you're gonna not only tire yourself, but it's not gonna work, right? So what I'm telling you is you have to do small things every single day, things that will allow you to get to your goal. It's not necessarily about the goal, but things that will allow you to work towards your goal, the system that you have in place, the daily disciplines that will get you towards your goal. So read the flashcards one more time before you go to school, or read the subject, the lesson that you just had the day before. And trust me, consistency will hugely benefit you in your academic journey. Motivation to do it, right? And your motivation is dependent on how big your goal is. So if your goal is really small, your motivation just isn't gonna really be there. So that's another really key point I'm gonna make. Motivation is as big as your goal. In order for you to maintain that consistency, you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. That's different for everyone. Okay, but you just need to know why you're doing what you're doing, because that is what's going to drive your motivation. There are a couple of days, of course, where you just don't feel up to it and you just feel tired and the last thing you want to do is sit down and read and make notes. I know I've been there quite a lot actually, still. And what I say to that is follow this tip. Do something small, something really, really small, something that seems really insignificant at first. What that will do is once you've done it, you'll get a sense of achievement. And that sense of achievement will fuel you. It will power you to do that next task, which is slightly bigger, ever so slightly bigger. And once you've done that, you'll get even more motivation because you get an even greater sense of achievement, and you just keep going from there. And it's a positive cycle that it may seem hard to get into at first, but once you're into it, it's really, really good. Point number 4, caffeine. Coffee, energy drinks. Yeah, I love coffee. I don't drink energy drinks because they got too much sugar, but I love coffee. Coffee, I drink it every day. I just love the taste and I love the consequences of it waking you up. Coffee is great. Coffee will help you maintain your focus, and it has shown to increase short-term and long-term memory retention, which is great when you're revising, right? Because you need to remember stuff. But there is a downside to drinking too much coffee, and that is it will hinder your sleep if you take too much. 1 cup of coffee can last about 8 hours in your system, and that will hinder your sleep. Even if you fall asleep at the right time, your quality of sleep just won't be that good. And what happens is you wake up the next day feeling like a zombie, and what do? You drink more coffee. And it's a vicious cycle which I've been in, so don't make that mistake. Drink coffee, but taper yourself in it. Because if you don't get enough sleep, trust me, your memory and focus and attention will be out down the drain. So you end up hindering and reversing the effect that you wanted to get in the first place by drinking coffee. So drink coffee. Coffee is great, but be careful. Point number 5. Timetables. Timetables. I don't like timetables. I'm not a fan of timetables. No, I don't like timetables. Reason being is because even though one may have the most disciplined attitude towards timetables, things happen. You can't ever stick to them completely 100%, and that really ticks me off. If I can't adhere to it 100%, I get really annoyed, I get frustrated, and I just stop revising. I just stop studying because I'm that frustrated. And I'm sure that's the same for a lot of you. But if you want to organize yourself, which is really important, what I do is I write to-do lists, little post-it notes, and with a paper and pencil if you're into that. Anyway. To-do lists, they allow you to get all that stuff that's in your head bugging you off and onto paper, which is really important if you've got a ton of stuff you need to remember, right? And you just write stuff down and you'll stop having to think about it, because the fear of forgetting is really, really annoying, and it will lead to anxiety, especially when you're in bed, lying in bed, and you just, oh, I forgot, I need to revise that tomorrow, or I need to read those revision cards. Write stuff down, get it on a piece of paper, and one tip is prioritize it, because the day has 24 hours and you can't always get everything into it. So yeah, to-do lists are really important. I use them a lot because they don't have any time constraints, and allowing you to actually sleep better because you're not anxious about remembering stuff the next day, which again will help you retain your focus and your memory because you have a better night's sleep, and so on. And again, it's a positive cycle, which would be really helpful if you got yourself into. Okay. Point number 6, and this is the big one. There's no other way of saying this, guys, and there's no easy way of saying it. You gotta do exam past papers. Exam past papers. Practice. 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 Practice is really important, because what it does is it allows you to identify your mistakes, and it will let you know why you made that mistake so that you don't make that mistake again. And practicing will also identify gaps in your knowledge, because writing notes, yeah, I do write notes, they're important, but the way I revise is doing as many past papers as I possibly can in the time that I have. Past papers will make you actively go and search for that information, so that the next time you see that same question, you will know what to do. You're more likely to remember it. Okay, and that's really, really important. Practice papers are the best way of retaining information. Again, that's what really works for me. And it also gives you exposure to exam style questions, approaching things you've never seen before, which is what exams are, right? And by doing past papers, you'll know how to use what you know to get to the right answer, if that makes sense. And this is where I went wrong in my English GCSE, and what happened was I didn't want to do any past papers. Bad for me, because I missed out. It came to exam day, I was not really sure what to do. I mean, yeah, I've had a ton of preparation in this class, but I could have done just that little bit more, you know? And I hate that feeling where you could have done that bit more, and that's just horrible. That's why I say do your best at everything you do, because if you don't get the best grade and you haven't tried your best, you're just going to be hitting yourself up for that. However, if you do try your best and you still don't get those grades, you'll be at ease knowing that you did what you could have done. And one other thing that practice papers allow you to do is it allows you to know what the mark scheme wants, which is really, really important. Have you ever had that where you know the answer, the science or your answer is correct, but you don't get the marks because the mark scheme says this word needs to be included or that or this, and mark schemes can be really, really specific, and that is really annoying when you know the answer but you just don't get the marks for it. Practicing will get you better at answering exam style questions the way the mark scheme wants you to answer it, because a lot of exams isn't just knowledge, it's knowing what the mark scheme wants, and that is the one thing that just exploded for me once I found out. I used to write notes after notes after notes and it was a mess. I just didn't get the grades. I put in so much effort, just didn't get the grades that I wanted. And as soon as I started doing past papers, it was amazing. It was like it was crazy. So yeah guys, practice. If you take anything from this video, take point number 6. Practicing is crucial. So guys, that pretty much sums up this video. I can guarantee you that if you follow these 6 crucial steps, these points, your grades will get better, trust me. Again, one last thing that I'm going to repeat is take care with coffee. That's horrible, we don't want to get into that, and practice. The main 2 points from this video. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. That is pretty much it. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out. Pedro here, and today we're going to be talking about 6 things. 6 things? Give me a sec. I'm gonna do some water. Let's look for a while. That's better.